Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire Service. We're talking with Ryan Arcangeli from the Crestwood football team. He is the head football coach. And Ryan, unusual circumstance. You're a young coach. Hopefully, all of us will go through this once in a lifetime, and we're just not sure. But here we are. And today was a big day. The PIAA given the green light for fall sports. It'll be a slow process, I think. Most of the coaches you talk to, it'll be a day-by-day process, that's for sure. But I know there's probably a lot of elation right now in the community there at Crestwood. Say, hey, let's try to do something that we all love to do and play football, something that these kids are going to get an opportunity to do right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And first and foremost, thanks for having me, John. I appreciate it. And on what is probably it should be a great day for everybody across the state that has been given the green light by their school district to proceed with fall sports, not just football, but every fall sport. I know here at Crestwood, we've been working really hard, not just in football, but field hockey, volleyball, soccer, boys and girls, junior high sports, working really hard. And to have this day finally come is really exciting for us. So, looking forward to what is going to be, like you said, a really cool opportunity and going to be a challenge, no doubt. Uncharted waters, really, it's been 100 years since we had anything and even close to this. So certainly we're all to trying to find our way through this muck as we move forward. But like you said, a young coach, certainly if this was last year as my first year, this is all happening and transpiring, I would be probably in a little different place emotionally. But I have a great staff and a great AD and support staff. My administration and our kids are just phenomenal. So the process, although has been trying, we have great support from our community and players.
When you talk education and you talk athletics, you always have to think of safety, and I'm sure it'll be even bigger. So talk about maybe that being number one, winning might be number two, or down the road a little bit. You have to make sure that you just do all the checks and balances to make sure that your student athletes, your coaches, the people on the sideline, the referees, everybody is as safe as possibly could be, and try to do everything you can. What you can control in that manner.
And then that's the big thing you left off with there, John, what you can't control. And that's what we've been preaching to our kids this whole time is let's worry about what we can control, what we can and should worry about. And that is our process that we have at Crestwood and the plan that we have put together and has been accepted by our school board really way back in June. And they've done a great job of doing things the right way, going about the process the right way, not trying to be speedy in return, but make sure that we have all those boxes checked. Our athletic training staff has done a great job, Cody at Crestwood for us with the guys in your health system. And, they gave us a protocol that we needed to follow and checking in every single day, temping the kids, creating that chain of contact. Obviously following the protocol set by the PIAA and our Pennsylvania Department of Health as closely as possible. And, Coach, I think the other day, it was Coach Saban from Alabama talking about personal bubbles and, controlling yourself when you leave the facility and doing things the right way. And you should really be mindful of your health. So we try to preach that to the kids as much as possible. Great daily habits, great hygiene habits to, again, try to control what we can do at the facility and so we can continue to play. So we've been tough on them with mask wearing, and they're kids, and they're going to pull it down because they don't quite realize and constant reminders. But, they're getting it better and better. And I tell you, I think that the safest thing is to keep them around us and to always have us, not only their parents doing it, but the coaches doing it, administration constantly reminding them, let's keep healthy habits, and we can be the ones that teach everybody else how to do it and help guide them when we come back to school full time.
I would think that a 100% of everybody doing everything the right way is going to be a pretty tough challenge across the board. not only, in the schools, but athletically. But again, I guess we're all going to give it a shot and see how good we can do. As far as your football players, talk a little bit about their mindset, their attitude right now. A lot of energy has gone into, hey, let's give us a shot. Hey, give us a chance. But then when you get that chance, as you said, and you've had that conversation with them, you guys got to do all the right things. Do your best to be 100%. Somebody who does it 98 or 99, that could be the one factor.
Certainly, and if you want to play, then this is the protocol that we have to follow, and that there is no other direction. So we're going to do this way, and we're happy, and I know every coach is, in every district, we've been given the opportunity to prove that we can. So we were worried about not having the opportunity to show the protocols we put in place, the health and safety of our kids, and putting all those things forward. Well, now, like you said, the ball's in our court now. So, how long will it last will now be the next question, and people will be waiting to pounce when it doesn't work. And we understand that. So we have to prove them wrong in every sport, that we can do this the right way and be healthy. There's going to be lapses somewhere, John, and you hope it's not with your own kids, that we do a great job. You hope that when it does happen and someone should contract it, or something that should go down, that everyone does follow their protocols and that everyone is honest. If everyone is honest and they remove players or coaches or anybody in their facility or staff, administration, teachers, whatever, if they're honest and we can trace this and do things the right way, I think we have a real shot at starting and completing things the way we hope to do.
I talked to Karen Klasner today. She's a legendary coach in our area. At any sport, she's a legend. She's a great field hockey coach. She has said that her field hockey players are probably going to wear masks while playing. Now, it's not mandatory by the PIAA. I wonder how many sports that may catch on to, or we may see some student athletes in certain sports give that a shot. I think football will be probably one of the most challenging to do that, because there's so much darn contact. It's just the way it is with that particular sport. But have you guys considered any of those factors? And/or I'm sure there's protocols in place where when you show up, you have to have a mask on, or in the locker room, all those things. Every team will have their own set of rules, but I find it interesting to see what sports may and what student athletes may actually say, hey, I'm going to wear a mask and I'm going to be comfortable with it.
I lost you there for a quick second, John. Do you have me back, buddy?
Yeah, I hear you again.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
No worries. Going from the kids wearing them, we've done a great job. All of our student athletes have done a great job here at Crestwood. Of wearing them. We talked about entry and exit protocol, what you needed to do. You don't come into or leave the facility without the mask until we get into your own individual personal rep. You have the mask on. We don't go into helmets until we have some kind of contact, where we may not be able to use a shield. We've been using that. So we've had them on quite a bit. We haven't had them on with helmets. So to wear that face covering with the helmet on, obviously we see NFL players and college players do it in the cold. You know what I mean? It's one thing to do in the cold. It's another thing to do when it's 90 degrees. Because you have to also consider, there's other health risk factors that come into football beyond COVID. So, wearing a mask with the helmet will be a challenge. So our athletic director got ahead of that. And Mr. Ambosi was able to order shut face guards for both our eyes and the lower piece for our mouth. We will be putting them on our players starting on Monday. We just got them shipped in. Everything's kind of in behind. So we will have the spit shield at the very least at the bottom of the cage. That's going to give us something. As well, it can get in this way. Yes, it can. But if I know, or we know that we've done everything we can on our part, we feel pretty good about it. So those are the kids in the field of play are going to have those. When you're on the sideline, PIAA has extended our coaches box and players box for us. who I believe go 10 to 10 yard line, so we can space the kids out 6 feet or more on the sideline. We've already practiced that with the mini scrimmage. We put cones out to try to signify where we would be standing, and those students will have their helmet off. So their mask will be on, helmet will be off until they're called upon to go into the game. So I think you're going to see that. I think it's going to be protocol with PIAA. I can imagine that most schools will have the same type of plan when it comes to sideline protocol and in practice. For the use of facility, we have a beautiful facility that we were able just to finish up here at Crestwood, back in the springtime. We haven't been able to use it much because we were hands off with facility usage. We only use it for storage, during practices. We've even lifted weights all summer long on the track. So we lift weights on the track and on our football field outside in the open air, just to try to avoid that confined place. Even if it's only limiting to 25 or 10 or whatever, it's much better to get the kids outside. So we've already done that. But when we transition now to the season and have to use the facility a lot more, we're going to go in an A and B group. So we're going to split the team in half. So it'll be 25 and 25. Group A will come in 10 to 15 minutes earlier than Group B. They will be every other locker within our facility, which has student lockers a little bit more spaced out. We'll give them their 10 minutes to change, do what they need to do, get them out, and then bring the next group in, and we'll process outward the same as we do when we come in. So we think we have a pretty good plan on how to keep the kids spaced out and use facilities at the same time. And then in between, which every coach has done, I'm sure we're sanitizing bags, footballs. We'll be sanitizing the locker room nightly, spraying down with Scott sprayers, that we use to try to make sure that if there isn't anything on a surface, we can take care of it quickly. So, again, Coach Klasner has it correct. I mean, if she can do that and we can make that, mandate within our own schools, we're certainly going to do that. It gives us a better chance to last a lot longer.
X's and O's. At some point, you got to talk about those, but I don't know that any conversation is going to lead with that. How do you feel about your team, and how do you feel about X and O's this year? I mean, is that kind of like less pressure in a sense of, hey, we want to win 6 games this year? I mean, right now, in theory, we're supposed to have 8 games. We're hoping to have that. We're not sure if there's a postseason. That looks a little, out there right now. But talk a little bit about, when you prioritize, talking X and O's and the kids that you'll put on the field there at Crestwood.
Well, the great thing, it was a slow go, obviously, getting this thing rolling. And we've taught the process of how to try to maintain that safe environment. So, we continue to harp on those things as we go through practice. But certainly at some point, and really for us, it was middle of July that we had to transfer from, getting the kids in, getting them healthy again, running, lifting. You can only do so much at home by yourself. It's very difficult to do, right? Some people excel at it and some not so much. So we had to get them ready to go physically. And then we really turned it into a major X and O thing once we got into the middle of July. And we really like the team we have coming back. We have a great group of seniors that were part of really turning our ship around last year, kind of running with a new message that we had for Crestwood, and they've done a great job. I say to the kids all the time, we have really good leadership, but even that really good leadership, John, has been challenged with the unknown. The unknown if today was going to come, and I had a conversation with our captains last evening, and really asking them, is it weighing on you? Is it bothering you? And they tell you no, because they don't want to tell coach that it is. But I think they're kind of being proud. I'll be anxious to get after practice on Monday, knowing full well that we have some light officially at the end of the tunnel. But X and O wise, we have a young offensive line, John. We're going to start probably 4 sophomores up front that come to us from a junior high football team that did go undefeated. They had a lot of success. It was junior high. So we have to get them up to speed quickly without having a full off season in the weight room. And that will certainly be a challenge for us, especially starting off with Hazleton area and Tunkhannock in weeks 1 and 2. We're very good up front. So that'll be a challenge for us. Returning a quarterback is always a good thing. and not having to break in a new guy. I think we have a really good one in Ryan Petrosky that came into his own last year at that position, ended up having a really nice season, has a little bit more of a leadership role now that's on his shoulders, not just trying to figure out who he was as a QB, but now he's got to do that and be a leader for young guys. So, I'm happy to have him back as our quarterback. We have a great backfield. Ryan Harding is our fullback coming back. Jimmy Hawley. We welcome a newcomer in the backfield, Caleb Benjamin, talented young fella. And we have a guy that's going to step in for Brandon Dominski, who's big shoes to fill, is a good player, and Logan Arnold, who's been a 3-year starter in other positions for us. Brendan DeMar is another great senior, back in the back end, our quarterback of our defense at safety. And, having all those 4 young sophomore linemen with one really good offensive tackle and Matt Dean, a senior 3-year starter, is going to help. So we have a great mix, I think, of seniors who've played a lot of football for us these last really 3 years. We brought them all up as freshmen. So some of them have been 4-year starters. They've been waiting their time to lead this team. And you match that up with role-playing juniors that are going to fill in gaps left over by our seniors, and a really talented group of young players. I just hope we can get our feet under us quickly up front. If we can do that up front offensively, I think we can put ourselves in a good place to have success. We're going to lean on our defense, though. We have 7 starters coming back from defense and other players who had a lot of playing time. So we're going to lean on them early on to keep us close while our young offensive line kind of gets their feet wet a little bit and gets some confidence.
Well, let's hope the second half of the conversation we had and hearing you talk a little bit about football is something we can do in the weeks to come. Our fingers are crossed. I hope so. And hopefully this thing goes well for PIAA sports. And, of course, all you're doing up there, Ryan, thanks for your time, and good luck this season at Crestwood with your football team.
Thanks so much, John. Thanks for having us, and go Comets.